The signal arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. Dr. Sarah Chen was reviewing data from the Deep Space Array when an anomalous pattern caught her eye. Unlike the usual background noise of the cosmos, this sequence repeated with mathematical precision, a clear signature of artificial origin. "Director Matthews," she called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "You need to see this." The aging director of the Global Space Observation Initiative hurried over, his coffee forgotten on his desk. As he studied the pattern, his eyes widened. After 30 years of searching the stars, humanity had finally received its answer. Within hours, the GSOI headquarters transformed into a hive of activity. Scientists from every department crowded around screens, analyzing the signal's complex structure. Military officials arrived, their faces grave with concern. World leaders connected via secure channels, watching as humanity faced its most significant moment. The signal contained more than just proof of alien intelligence. Embedded within its mathematical sequence was a message, coordinates for a meeting point just beyond Mars' orbit, and a time, exactly 1 month from receipt. "It's an invitation," Sarah explained to the hastily assembled United Nations Security Council. "They're not just saying hello, they want to talk." The debate that followed split the world's leaders. Some advocated caution, warning of potential hostile intent. Others saw an unprecedented opportunity for human advancement. In the end, pragmatism won out. Humanity couldn't afford to ignore such a direct invitation. The Nexus Collective's arrival shattered every preconception humanity held about alien life. Their ship, a massive structure of impossible geometries and shifting surfaces, defied human understanding of physics. When their representatives emerged, beings of crystalline complexity that manipulated light and matter with casual ease, Earth's scientific community realized just how far behind humanity truly was. "We are the Nexus." Their message resonated directly in the minds of Earth's chosen representatives. "We have watched your species' development with great interest." Sarah, selected as part of the first contact team for her role in discovering the signal, struggled to process the alien consciousness touching her mind. The Nexus communicated in concepts rather than words, each thought carrying layers of meaning that human language struggled to capture. "Your potential intrigues us," the Nexus continued. "Among all the species we've encountered, few have advanced so rapidly while maintaining such unique perspectives." The compliment carried an undercurrent of concern that Sarah couldn't quite decipher. Director Matthews, standing beside her, asked the question burning in everyone's mind: "Why have you chosen to contact us now?" The crystalline beings shifted, their surfaces reflecting starlight in patterns that seemed almost anxious. "Because time grows short," they responded. "A threat approaches that will test not just humanity, but all sentient life in this galaxy. We need allies who think differently." The revelation sent shockwaves through Earth's governments. Humanity had barely begun to grasp its place in the cosmos, and already they were being drawn into an interstellar crisis. Yet as fear spread through the ranks of Earth's leaders, Sarah noticed something else emerging: determination. The Nexus shared glimpses of their civilization, worlds spanning multiple star systems, technology that manipulated the fundamental forces of the universe, and a history stretching back millions of years. But beneath their advancement, Sarah sensed something that surprised her: uncertainty. "You're afraid," she realized, the thought slipping out before she could contain it. The Nexus representatives' crystalline forms pulsed with acknowledgement. "We have mastered the physical realm," they confirmed, "but the threat we face operates beyond conventional physics. Our very consciousness is at risk, and despite our advancement, we have found no defense." As the first day of contact drew to a close, Earth's representatives returned planetside with heads spinning and hearts racing. Humanity had not only met its first alien civilization, but had been immediately thrust into a crisis that threatened the entire galaxy. Director Matthews gathered his team for an emergency briefing. "They chose us for a reason," he stated, his voice firm. Something about humanity offers hope against this threat. We need to figure out what that is, and fast. Sarah stayed late that night, reviewing the Nexus's data. As she studied their warnings about the approaching threat, a pattern began to emerge. The aliens' mastery of technology was extraordinary, but their thinking followed rigid, predictable paths. Perhaps humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their resources, but their capacity to imagine the impossible. As she watched the Nexus ship hovering beyond Mars, its impossible geometry a constant reminder of how far humanity had to go, Sarah felt something unexpected: hope. The galaxy's most advanced civilization had reached out to humanity not just as subjects to be studied, but as partners in facing an unprecedented threat. The real question was, would humanity be ready when that threat arrived? The Nexus representatives projected images of devastation into the minds of Earth's leaders, entire civilizations reduced to empty husks, worlds stripped of consciousness, while their physical infrastructure remained eerily intact. The Void Harvesters, as the Nexus called them, didn't destroy planets, they consumed minds. They approached from the galactic core, the crystalline beings explained. 3 advanced civilizations have already fallen. Their bodies continue routine tasks, but their consciousness, their essence, is gone. Admiral Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Defense Force leaned forward in her chair, her weathered face illuminated by holographic projections of the approaching threat. "How long do we have?" 6 months, came the response. Perhaps less. The Nexus shared their analysis. The Void Harvesters operated on a level beyond conventional physics, somehow extracting and absorbing consciousness itself. Traditional weapons, even the Nexus's advanced energy weapons, passed harmlessly through their ethereal forms. But there was something different about human consciousness that intrigued the Nexus. Unlike most species whose minds followed predictable patterns, human thoughts were chaotic, innovative, and somehow more resilient. Dr. Chen's team worked around the clock, studying the data from fallen civilizations. They noticed something the Nexus had missed: trace patterns in the brainwave activities of survivors. A few individuals in each civilization had naturally resisted the harvesting process. "Look at their neural patterns," Sarah explained to the Global Defense Council. "The survivors all show signs of what we classify as neurodivergent thinking, similar to human conditions like ADHD, autism, or synesthesia." The Nexus confirmed they had never seen minds quite like humanity's. While their own consciousness operated with crystal clarity and perfect logic, human minds were a riot of contradiction and creativity. This chaos, they theorized, might be the key to resistance. Meanwhile, humanity began preparing. The world's governments united under a single banner, pooling resources and knowledge. Military forces trained for an enemy they couldn't shoot. Scientists developed new ways to measure and protect consciousness itself. But it was a small team of human consciousness researchers who made the breakthrough. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a quantum consciousness theorist, proposed something radical. What if we don't try to stop them from taking our consciousness? What if we instead focus on making our consciousness indigestible? The idea was unprecedented. Rather than building walls around human minds, they would make human consciousness itself toxic to the harvesters. The Nexus representatives were baffled by the concept. It contradicted their fundamental understanding of consciousness as something to be protected, not weaponized. Sarah worked with Yuki to develop the theory. Human consciousness already naturally resisted standardization. If they could amplify this trait, enhance the very chaos that made human minds unique, they might have a defense that doubled as a weapon. But as they worked, the first signs of the Void Harvesters appeared at the edge of monitored space. Ships went dark, their crews found mindless but physically unharmed. A distant colony fell silent, its automated systems reporting normal operation while video feeds showed people moving like automatons. The Nexus grew increasingly agitated. "You must understand," they projected urgently, "no civilization has ever survived direct contact with the harvesters. The best we can hope for is to preserve a fraction of humanity." Admiral Rodriguez disagreed. That's because no civilization has ever tried to fight back quite like we will. She turned to Sarah and Yuki. How close are we to a working defense? The scientists shared a look. We're ready for initial testing, Sarah replied. But this is completely theoretical. We have no way to know if it will work until they actually arrive. The world held its breath as humanity prepared for either its greatest triumph or its final hour. The void harvesters were coming, and Earth's defense would either prove humanity's greatest innovation or its last experiment. As Sarah watched the Nexus ships positioning themselves protectively around Earth, she couldn't help but wonder. Had they chosen humanity because they saw potential, or because they were running out of options? Either way, humanity would face this threat as they had faced every other, with determination, creativity, and the stubborn refusal to accept defeat. The warning had been delivered. Now it was time to prove that humanity's greatest weakness, its chaotic, unpredictable nature, might just be its greatest strength. Project Mindshield transformed every major research facility on Earth into a hub of feverish activity. Dr. Chen and Dr. Tanaka's consciousness modification theory had sparked a global innovation race against time. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source: video game developers. Their expertise in creating immersive mental experiences proved invaluable in developing consciousness manipulation techniques. They worked alongside neuroscientists and quantum physicists to create a revolutionary neural interface system. The human mind is already naturally chaotic, Yuki explained during a global briefing. We're enhancing that chaos in a controlled way, making our consciousness essentially incompatible with the harvester's absorption process. The technology looked deceptively simple: a thin neural mesh that could be worn like a cap, powered by quantum processors that enhanced natural brainwave patterns. The Nexus studied the design with growing fascination. Your species continues to surprise us, they communicated. We would never have considered using chaos as a defense mechanism. Our entire civilization is built on order and predictability. Training began immediately. Volunteers reported strange experiences as they learned to amplify their mental chaos, vivid dreams, enhanced creativity, and occasionally, glimpses of what seemed like other dimensions. The Nexus monitored these developments with increasing alarm and interest. Admiral Rodriguez oversaw the global distribution of neural mesh devices. Production facilities worked around the clock, ensuring every human would have protection when the harvesters arrived. But the technology proved to have unexpected side effects. People wearing the neural mesh began developing enhanced empathic abilities. Strangers could sense each other's emotional states. Families found themselves sharing dreams. The human consciousness was evolving in ways no one had predicted. We're not just protecting ourselves, Sarah realized during a late-night research session. We're transcending our current form of consciousness. The harvesters might be catalyzing the next step in human evolution. The Nexus shared their own studies of the harvesters' victims. The empty shells of conquered civilizations revealed a pattern. Species that relied too heavily on logic and order were the most vulnerable. Human imagination, emotion, and inherent mental chaos might be the perfect antidote. Global defense systems were redesigned around this new understanding. Traditional military forces were augmented with teams of consciousness warriors, individuals who showed particular aptitude with the neural mesh technology. These warriors learned to project their chaotic consciousness as a weapon. But time was running out. The void harvesters had reached the outer edges of the solar system. Their presence manifested as a creeping darkness that sensors couldn't quite detect, a void in space that seemed to absorb more than just light. We're as ready as we'll ever be, Admiral Rodriguez announced to the Unified Earth Defense Command. Every human on Earth is now equipped with neural mesh protection. Our consciousness warriors are trained. The Nexus fleet is in position. Sarah stood at a window in the GSOI headquarters, watching the sunset. The neural mesh hummed softly against her scalp, its quantum processors amplifying the natural chaos of her thoughts. Through the enhanced empathic link, she could sense the determination of billions of humans worldwide, their minds united yet distinctly individual. The Nexus ships in orbit shimmered with energy as they prepared for battle. The crystalline crew members had begun incorporating elements of human chaos theory into their own consciousness, creating a hybrid defense strategy that no one had thought possible months ago. Humanity had done the impossible, united the entire species, developed revolutionary technology, and evolved their consciousness, all in less than 6 months. Whether it would be enough remained to be seen, but they had already proved the Nexus right about one thing: humans were unlike any species the galaxy had ever seen. As the first tendrils of void began to darken Earth's skies, Sarah felt not fear, but anticipation. Humanity was ready to show the cosmos exactly what made them unique. The void harvesters manifested as massive, shifting clouds of darkness that defied physical laws. They moved through the solar system's outer defenses as if they didn't exist, absorbing the consciousness of automated outpost crews without triggering a single alarm. Earth's first line of defense came from the consciousness warriors. Stationed in orbital platforms, they projected their chaotic mental patterns into space, creating a psychic barrier unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The Nexus ships positioned themselves in a supporting formation, their crystalline crews radiating waves of ordered energy that complemented the human chaos. "Contact in 5 minutes," announced Admiral Rodriguez from the Global Defense Command Center. Through the neural mesh network, billions of humans braced themselves, their combined consciousness creating a powerful psychic field around Earth. The initial impact stunned both sides. The void harvesters, accustomed to easily absorbing ordered minds, recoiled from the chaotic barrier of human consciousness. Their dark tendrils probed the defense, searching for weaknesses but finding only more chaos. "They're trying to adapt," Sarah observed, monitoring the neural feedback. "But every human mind is unique. There's no pattern for them to learn." The harvesters' response was to intensify their assault. Dark energy crashed against Earth's psychic shield like waves against a shore. Some consciousness warriors fell back, overwhelmed by the alien presence trying to invade their minds. But others stepped forward, their chaos-enhanced minds burning like beacons in the darkness. The neural mesh network revealed an unexpected advantage. When a harvester successfully absorbed a human consciousness, they found themselves unable to process the chaotic patterns. The absorbed minds acted like viruses, disrupting the harvesters from within. "They're not just failing to harvest us," Yuki reported excitedly. "They're being damaged by the attempt." But the harvesters were ancient and powerful. They began targeting the Nexus ships, seeking easier prey. The crystalline beings fought back with desperate courage, their ordered minds now partially protected by adapted versions of the neural mesh technology. Earth's atmosphere filled with spectacular displays as consciousness energy collided with void matter. The battle raged on multiple planes of existence: physical, mental, and somewhere in between. Humanity's chaotic defense held, but the strain on the consciousness warriors grew with each passing hour. Admiral Rodriguez coordinated the global defense with precision, rotating teams of consciousness warriors to maintain the shield's integrity. The neural mesh network hummed with the combined mental energy of billions, each human mind contributing its unique chaos to the defense. Through it all, Sarah and Yuki worked to refine their understanding of the harvester's nature. Each failed absorption attempt provided new data about their consciousness hunting mechanism. A pattern began to emerge, one that suggested the harvesters weren't just feeding on consciousness, they were trying to impose order on the galaxy itself. "They're not evil," Sarah realized. "They're the universe's immune system, trying to eliminate chaos. But in doing so, they're destroying the very thing that makes consciousness special." The battle reached its peak as the largest void harvester, a darkness that blotted out the sun, made its final push toward Earth. The combined consciousness of humanity surged to meet it, billions of chaotic minds united in purpose but diverse in thought. The result was something no one had predicted, not the Nexus, not the humans, and certainly not the harvesters. The clash of chaos and void created a new form of energy, a hybrid of consciousness and dark matter that rippled through space-time itself. As the battle for Earth reached its climax, both humanity and the harvesters faced a truth neither had expected. This wasn't just a fight for survival, it was a moment of cosmic evolution. The question was no longer who would win, but what the universe would become when the dust settled. Through the neural mesh network, Sarah detected something crucial. The harvesters weren't just absorbing consciousness, they were storing it. Each dark entity contained millions of captured minds, compressed into ordered patterns, valuable energy sources, but also potential vulnerabilities. "We can free them," she transmitted to Admiral Rodriguez. "If we can destabilize their containment patterns, we might be able to release every consciousness they've ever harvested." The Nexus representatives, monitoring the Human Defense Network, registered immediate alarm. The energy release would be catastrophic, they warned. No existing system could contain it. But Dr. Tanaka had already begun modifying the neural mesh network. "We don't need to contain it," he explained. "We need to channel it. Every freed consciousness will carry traces of human chaos from our attacks. They'll become weapons themselves." Admiral Rodriguez authorized the plan. Earth's consciousness warriors shifted their focus, no longer just defending but actively attacking the harvester's internal structure. The neural mesh network hummed with unprecedented power as billions of humans directed their chaotic thoughts toward a single purpose. The first harvester broke apart in a spectacular display of light and dark energy. Released consciousnesses exploded outward, each one corrupted with human chaos, spreading like a virus through the harvester fleet. The Nexus ships provided covering fire, their energy weapons keeping the harvesters from retreating. Sarah, connected deeply to the neural network, felt the moment the tide turned. The freed consciousnesses, ancient and powerful, recognized their chance for revenge. They turned on their captors, using their newly acquired chaos to tear the harvesters apart from within. The final battle reached its crescendo above Earth's atmosphere. The largest harvester, still fighting against the human defense, began to fracture as millions of freed minds attacked its core. The void matter containing it collapsed, releasing a wave of consciousness energy that lit up the solar system. Humanity's neural mesh network absorbed the shock, distributing the energy across billions of minds. For a brief moment, every human on Earth shared a connection with countless alien consciousnesses, each one carrying stories of civilizations long lost. As the harvesters disintegrated, that ancient purpose became clear through these shared memories. They had evolved as the universe's response to excessive disorder, seeking to impose harmony through consciousness collection. Humanity's chaotic nature hadn't just defeated them, it had proven their fundamental assumption wrong. The Nexus watched in awe as humans began integrating the knowledge gained from the freed consciousnesses. The neural mesh network evolved spontaneously, allowing humans to process and share this vast new understanding while maintaining their crucial individuality. "Your species," the Nexus communicated, "has done more than save the galaxy. You've introduced a new paradigm of existence, one where chaos and order can coexist." The last harvester dissolved into streams of consciousness energy, marking the end of a threat that had plagued the galaxy for eons. But for humanity, it was just the beginning of a new chapter in their evolution. Through the neural mesh, Sarah sensed the changes already beginning in human consciousness. They had not just survived, they had transcended, proving that humanity's greatest strength lay in embracing their chaotic nature rather than trying to suppress it. 1 year after the Harvester's defeat, Earth had become the center of a galactic renaissance. The neural mesh technology, combined with the knowledge gained from freed consciousnesses, sparked an unprecedented era of innovation and growth. The Nexus Collective had transformed as well, their crystalline beings now incorporating controlled elements of chaos into their consciousness. They worked alongside humans, creating a new form of hybrid technology that balanced order and chaos. Dr. Sarah Chen led the newly established Consciousness Integration Institute, where representatives from across the galaxy came to study humanity's unique approach to mental evolution. The institute focused on helping other species develop their own versions of the neural mesh, adapted to their specific forms of consciousness. The key was never about fighting chaos or enforcing order, she explained to a group of alien students. It was about finding harmony between the two. Through the enhanced neural mesh, her thoughts carried not just words but experiences, allowing her audience to understand on a deeper level. Admiral Rodriguez, now heading the Galactic Defense Council, oversaw the implementation of new protective measures. The freed consciousnesses had warned of other cosmic threats, and humanity's role had evolved from planetary defense to galactic preservation. The most profound change came in human society itself. The neural mesh had evolved beyond its original purpose, becoming a tool for unprecedented collaboration while preserving individual identity. Humans could share thoughts and experiences directly, leading to breakthroughs in art, science, and understanding that would have been impossible before. Dr. Tanaka's research revealed that human consciousness was still evolving. Each generation born with a neural mesh showed greater capacity for both individual thought and collective cooperation. They were becoming something new, not a hive mind, but a harmonious chorus of distinct voices. The Void Harvester's defeat had proven that chaos wasn't a flaw to be corrected, but an essential element of cosmic balance. Humanity's gift to the galaxy wasn't just technology or defense strategies, but a new understanding of consciousness itself. Earth became a beacon for species seeking to evolve their own consciousness. The planet's cities now housed representatives from thousands of civilizations, each contributing their unique perspectives to the growing galactic community. As Sarah stood at the same window where she had once watched the harvesters approach, she reflected on how far they had come. The neural mesh hummed with the thoughts of billions, each mind unique yet connected, chaotic yet harmonious. Through the network, she sensed the continuing expansion of human potential, reaching towards something greater than anyone had imagined possible. The day the humans answered had become more than just a moment of first contact or even victory. It had marked the beginning of a new chapter in cosmic evolution. Humanity had not just saved itself, it had shown the galaxy a new way forward, proving that their greatest perceived weakness had been their greatest strength all along. In the vast darkness of space, countless stars twinkled with new possibility, and humanity stood ready to help guide the galaxy toward its next great adventure.